Hello my clay friends, this is RB Jules with STL Handmade Craft Spot. Today we're going to do our first project. We're going to make a polymer art bowl. In the last video we made a polymer clay veneer with the checkerboard clay that was made in a previous video, so that's what we're going to use in this project. So you're going to need that veneer, a coordinating color clay cane, cut and conditioned, approximately 2 packs, and that's just to make sure that you have enough clay cane for the project. You're going to need a simple little bowl. You're going to need your your acrylic roller, and your tissue blade, and that's all you're going to need for this project. So to do this, let's first move some stuff out of the way, and we're going to remove the veneer from this piece of glass, and that's how I often have pieces laying around when I'm not using them. It keeps them kind of safe and secure, and kind of easy to maneuver. See if I can move the rest of this without it tearing. And we did, and we're going to lay this right here. And so we're going to move that out of the way. The next is the other coordinating sheet of clay, and this is about on a number 2 setting. You can do a number 2 or number 3 setting. And the reason why it's so thin is because once you put it on the bowl, you don't want the rim of the bowl to be really thick, because there are many different ways that you can actually do a polymer art bowl, but I'm going to show you the simplest way that you can do it. No muss, no fuss, not a whole bunch of geometry or technical math skills that we're going to use to try to keep it kind of light and fun. So you're going to lay the polymer clay sheet down, and you're going to pick the veneer up. Still being careful because it's fragile, but it will move a lot easier because it's not stuck to the surface. And you're going to take the veneer. There's a piece of hair on there. We don't want that on there. Okay. You're going to take the veneer and slowly lay it down so you don't get any air bubbles in it at all. Just gently roll it out. And you're going to take your acrylic roller, and you're just going to go over it just to make sure that there are absolutely no air bubbles in it, and that it's fully laid out. And also remember, as you do this, it is making the clay a little thinner each time that you do this. So that's why you see it lifting. Move this piece of hair off there. So, and you just want to roll it out. Make sure that all of it is rolled out. And you want to cut the excess clay around. You can do this with your tissue blade. You can bend it a little bit and remove the excess as much as possible, because you can put it back into your good clay pile, and you can cut off the rest and put it into your scrap pile, which you could use it in another project. So we're going to continue by lifting the clay up like we did before, and you can stretch it out a little. Stretch it out a little bit, and we're going to roll over it just a couple of more times. And this also too helps to stretch the clay out more. Always remember that polymer clay is very, very forgiving. Very. very, very forgiving. And for the most part, it will do what you want it to do. And the reason why I'm stretching it out more is because I want to make sure I absolutely got more than enough to fit over the bowl. And I can also stretch out the veneer because it's protected with this other sheet of clay underneath. Even though it's kind of thin, you still can maneuver the clay. So now you're going to turn the bowl upside down, sorry for the noise, and we're going to lay it over, and we're just going to see if it fits before we start to put it over. I mean, this is the simplest way to create a pretty bowl. And once you see that your clay pretty much fits, let's bring it over just a little bit more. Once you see that it pretty much fits all the way around, you're going to lay it down like this, and you're going to start to press. But you're going to remember to make sure that you press all of the air bubbles from underneath the clay. And you're going to stretch it over it. And you can pick it up. You don't have to necessarily lay it down. And you're going to stretch it over. When I say this is the easiest way to do a polymer art bowl, this is exactly what I mean. It's the easiest way without all of the you know, having to figure out all of the measurements, the exact squares, because I've done it that way too, and it is pretty. But when you're working with shapes that you have to be careful of where the shapes are, and you have to just really take your time and just make sure of where everything really is. And you're literally just pressing the clay into the bowl, molding it to the bowl. That's pretty much what you're doing. What you see me doing is what you're actually just doing. It's just molding it to the bowl. And there is a little crease there. I've got my nail print. I slice it a little bit with my nail. You just press it in. And you just make sure you get it into the crease, because there is a little crease into the bowl. And you just continue to press it up. And if it looks, you think it's that easy, it is just that easy. And you continue to press it up. And see, as you can see, the clay is sticking to the bowl. You don't have to add any other additives, no liquid polymer clay, no other, clay products to do this. It will adhere to the bowl itself. So you just continue and you come up to the top. And if you wanted to make it just a little easy on yourself, you can cut like a little space into it and tear the clay just a little bit. Be careful, because you don't want to and we just tearing a little section of the clay out. That way you can just, so as you can see, it makes it so much easier. And as you do this, you can, you know, cut around it just a little bit above the top as you go around. Make sure I stay in frame here as much as possible. Just cut around it. And this is going to help you to finish fitting the clay to the bowl. And this is real time, folks. So as you can see, once you do all of the other little steps, as in creating a clay cane, or if you create a pattern and you use other mixed media products like inks and things like that, you can let it dry and do the same thing. You don't necessarily have to use a clay cane, but that's what we're using in this video. Because sometimes it doesn't always have to be so complicated. It doesn't have to be a pressure cooker. So now that we removed a lot of the clay, which makes it a lot easier, and you can see exactly what you're doing, and don't worry about it because the clay is very forgiving. I cannot overemphasize that enough. So you can get the clay to lay right up on the bowl. And once you continue to shape it and get it to lay on the bowl, as you're happy with it, as you get ready to see, we're just going to cut around it to the very, very top of it. Like this. As you can see, it is completely adhered to the bowl. Completely adhered to the bowl. And then what you do, you take your tissue blade and you just go around the top of it gently. Just let the top of the bowl be your guide. Just make sure this is adhered a little more. And you can pull it off, doesn't matter. Let the top of the bowl be your guide. And just continue to cut around it. And if you're happy with the way it looks, which I am, I'm pretty much happy with this, you can shape it a little bit if you feel like you want to, you know. But for the most part, this bowl is done. And to make sure that you get rid of any edges, you actually can do this with your hand. Just like this. And it'll get rid of all of the edges. So you don't have to worry about doing no additional work. And it's ready to go in the oven. And there's your cute little simple polymer art bowl. Just make sure you get all the little dents and nooks out of it from touching it, especially if you sometimes wear jewelry like I do. Or if you got long nails, which I don't, but they're still there and can, you know, create little nicks and things like that. And this is it, folks. Put this in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes, 40 minutes preferably, and you'll have your art bowl. And I'll be back in 45 minutes to show you this finished art bowl and to show you some of the other pieces that I made with the polymer clay checkerboard veneer. So, see you in a bit. Hello, my clay friends, and we're back. So, it's been 45 minutes, actually 60 minutes. I baked it for an hour. The longer you bake it, actually, the stronger it is. And some people get a little concerned that, you know, it may get dark or whatever, but the color doesn't bother me. So here's your nice, sturdy, cute little art bowl. You can use it for just about anything. You can put any little trinkets in it. You could turn it into a cute little jewelry dish. You can put candies on the inside because it is glass. And, you know, you can use it for whatever, or you can give it as a gift. But this is definitely the simplest way to make an artful polymer clay bowl. No muss, no fuss. No whole bunch of geometric measurements or having to pull out rulers, compasses, and all kinds of technical, mathematical properties and products to create a bowl. Just very simple, very quick and easy. You saw how we did this real time, not even 20 minutes, minus the bake time. And one of the things I forgot to mention is that you want to bake it at the recommended temperatures of the polymer clay that is based on the package of instructions. So, and you may use a timer depending on the kind of oven you may have, or toaster oven, just to make sure that the time is right. And you might use a thermometer to make sure that your temperatures are correct so that it does not burn, because I promise you, it's not cute when your polymer clay burn. Can you rescue it and use it for something else? Absolutely. But when you're intending your polymer clay project for an intended purpose, you don't want it to burn in the oven because the temperatures are a little off. So using a gauge is pretty cool to help in that process. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Until next time, bye.